Well, hi everyone. Hello, Randall. Hi, Ethan Armitage. How are you? Uh, Andrew of the 156 variety. Timber Surf. Nice to have you guys here. I'm just testing to see if the bandwidth here holds up. When we were doing it from London, it just could not handle what we were doing. So you guys let me know if you can hear me and if the video is coming through okay. Um, just Joyce and I just got back from some random shopping and some stuff here in Cardiff, which is where we're at. We leave in the morning to go up to northern Wales. We're staying in a town called Gwynedd, which is just south of Bangor, on the north coast of, close to the north coast of Wales. It's a bit garbled. Okay, one person says loud and clear, one says garbled. So we'll just see how it works. I don't have any trains to run. I just thought I would pop on real quick and see if this is working well enough. But Joyce and I have been in the UK 6 days now. We arrived on the 2nd, early in the morning on the 2nd. And so 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So basically 7 days. Well, what's in Gwynedd? Joyce and I will be in Gwynedd for a few days. It's just where we found a room. We wanted to be at Bangor because Bangor is kind of in the middle of Conwy Castle and Carnarvon Castle, Anglesey, and a couple other castles that we were thinking of getting to. Brian Brian, we are going to Edinburgh in Scotland, but that's next week. We'll be in Edinburgh in Scotland. We will be in Bangor for 4 days, June 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then we will be in Liverpool the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. And then we will be in Edinburgh the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. And the first day is always the day we arrive. But Joyce went upstairs for a bit. I don't know what she's going. We actually have a real nice place here. We actually have an entire cottage to ourselves here. We are right in the middle. We're not in the middle of Cardiff, but we're in the middle of the city center and all the historical stuff of Cardiff and the bay. Literally, we walk out our door and there is a little water canal here. And if we go left and follow the canal, we go straight down to the city center, including the bus station. And if we go right, straight to the bay and all the tourist and bay stuff there. But we've really enjoyed Cardiff. Cardiff was a blast. We were supposed to go to Swansea today, but Joyce just wasn't feeling up to a train ride today. We are hoping to see Chris in Edinburgh. We want to. Now, he says he'll meet us somewhere. He doesn't want us coming up to the apartment because, well, obviously he doesn't want us in his house. But we met Tim J.D. I don't know how many of you guys know Tim Dowd, Tim J.D. on YouTube, Tim J.D. Dowd on YouTube. He actually got on our train. The day we arrived in Cardiff, we stopped at Newport, and then 10 minutes later, we're at Cardiff. He got on the train and at Newport and hopped on and sat with us to Cardiff and hung out with us for a little bit. And that was really great. And then yesterday, we went to Gloucester. We took a train to Gloucester. He joined us at Newport and went to Gloucester with us. And we ran the poor man ragged. He's got a bum knee, and we walked him all over Gloucester, and should have been more considerate, I guess. But it was a blast. Um, it was weird. Now, Tim has been a strong member of my channel for a couple of years. Ever since I started live streaming, Tim's been there. I've been a subscriber of his channel. What a class gent. He's just an amazingly nice guy. I am just thrilled to have met Tim. And we just it was awesome to hang out with Tim for as much as we did yesterday. Tim has the honor of being the first YouTuber we've met. Tim holds the honor. He will always be the first of the YouTube people we met. And it was really awesome. Tim is a wonderful guy. And if anybody gets a chance to meet him, we just it was an emotional goodbye because we knew that was it. We knew we weren't going to see each other anymore. Although I was tempted to hop the train and go to Newport. I even suggested coming up and watching his trains play. It's like, no, you don't want to come to my house. And I was like, oh, I'll come up and watch trains run. Now, mind you guys, when we set this trip, we already had things planned out, and it's not a rail fanning vacation. This is Joyce and I. This is Joyce and my vacation. This is after 16 trips to Germany, Austria, and even into the Czech Republic. Joyce wanted different. We elected to go to the UK because we'd started talking to people from the UK on YouTube. So it's not so much a rail fanning trip. We have things planned. In fact, the only reason I'm here now is because part of our plans, I don't want to say fell through. We had planned on going to this whitewater rafting, and they do what's called a gorge walk down in this region. Unfortunately, they only do it on Saturdays and Sundays. Through the week is for business groups to do those team building exercises. We didn't know that, so we set this day aside. So we were thinking of going to Swansea, and when Joyce got up this morning, she just really wasn't, she didn't want to, even though it's only an hour away, to actually go to where we wanted to go, the Three Bluffs Beach. You had to either rent a car, which we didn't want to do, very long walk, a 2-hour walk, which we didn't want to do, 3-hour walk, and no bus went straight out there. So it really was about renting a car, and we didn't want to rent a car. So Joyce and I just kind of said, man, we're not going to do that. Yeah, Matt Slade is somewhere in Cardiff. I'm subscribed to his channel. I love his channel, but I don't talk to Matt Slade. He doesn't visit my channel. I know he is in this region, but yeah, I did not even think to, quote, meet up with him because, again, he's an awesome guy. Love his channel. Love what he puts out. But I don't talk to him off the line. For example, the way I do with Tim, where Tim and I are friends on Facebook and talk to each other on Facebook. Now, the coolest thing is while we're in Bangor, we were going to catch a train and go over to where Alan Wiles lives. And Alan Wiles called me and he said, I'll come and pick you up at your place in Gwynedd. Alan Wiles is going to drive an hour and 10 minutes over to our house in Gwynedd, pick us up, and then drive us all over North Wales, then take us back to the shed so we can see his layout, and then he's going to drive us back. We told him he didn't have to do that, and he's like, oh, no, it's no problem. The friendships, the absolute generosity that we're already meeting from our fellow YouTubers has blown Joyce and me away. We're just, I can't believe Alan would want to go and put that much effort in. And again, we wanted to meet, and Alan would like to meet us. We wanted to meet him, but he would put in all that extra effort to come and get us. Where I was like, we can get a train and meet you. If anything, maybe pick us up at the station near your town. And it's like, no, I'll come and get you. Hello, Chasco. So, but otherwise, we're going to go to Carnarvon Castle. We're going to walk over the bridge to Anglesey. We're going to do Conwy Castle and whatever other castles we can fit in. Because when Joyce and I travel, if you didn't catch us on our stream before we came to the UK, or our very botchy stream from London a few days ago, basically I'm into the history and the buildings and the architecture, and Joyce wants nature. So we always have to find something that has hills, river, water, and forest for Joyce, castles, and history for me. So yeah, we're going to be in Gwynedd, and Alan has actually he's already set the time and the date. He's going to come and pick us up, and I can't believe the generosity there. Joyce and I were just blown away, just like meeting Tim JD. We were just blown away. Tim is such a nice guy in person, which we expected because he's such a nice guy online. And we will say, I think Tim would vouch for what Joyce and I always say, is that the people you see on our live streams, Joyce and me, those are the people you actually meet. When Joyce and I are online, that's us. There are some people who put up fronts. They're trying to put a presentation up there, whether it's to be professional or more serious than maybe they are. They don't show you their full sides. Joyce and I, we are who you see on the cameras, for good or for bad. That's what you meet. But we had 3 days in London during the Jubilee. We didn't intend for it. When Joyce and I booked this, there were no Jubilee plans for the Queen. There was nothing laid out in stone. Well, we didn't even know for sure. A voice from above, Joyce. If there were plans, we certainly didn't know about it. But I was reading and following, and it really seemed to just come together the last couple of weeks before we arrived, when things were announced. Here's what's going on, and by that time we were already booked to what we were booked. But we had a great time in London. It was a little more crowded because of all the people there. But hey, your queen is celebrating one of the longest reigns in history, 70 years. There's not too many regents who have ever ruled that long. So, credit to her. Joyce and I are Americans. We don't care about the royal family. We broke away from that. But we were in Wales. Our first day in Cardiff was Wales versus Ukraine. So we were at a restaurant watching the Wales-Ukraine final, where Wales qualified for the World Cup, which was awesome. And that was cool to see the people all riled up. And Wales plays the Netherlands. I think it's tonight. I thought it was the 7th, but it must be tonight, the 8th, in an international friendly, because I really was tempted to see if Joyce and I could get tickets, because the stadium's just up the road here, a 15-minute walk. And what the heck, go see an international game, but I don't know if we could get tickets. But Cardiff is filled with a lot of Dutch fans today. There's orange everywhere. It's great to see, because sometimes some fans, like Brazil, can be real obnoxious fans. There were a lot of Ukraine fans here on our travel into Cardiff on, what is today, Wednesday? So we arrived here Sunday. There was a good crowd of Ukrainian fans as well. And it was a little more subdued. The Welsh were very loud and boisterous, and the Ukrainians, understandably so, were a little more subdued. And then after the game, there was some partying downtown, but Joyce and I had already come back here, so it was relatively quiet in our little neighborhood here, because we really are I won't say the middle of nowhere. We're just right in the middle of everything you want to see in Cardiff, but not where things are in Cardiff. We're just in a. There she is. Hi there.
Hi, hi.
Hi, hi. Don't have a lot of people here, but we got some.
Okay.
You can come and join for a while,
Mm.
maybe. But Cardiff is a very cool town, and the castle. Oh my goodness, Joyce and I loved Cardiff Castle. It was a lot of fun to go through. We really loved. I mean, the whole uptown area and London. Hey, Rick Arnell, how are you? I'm just here to babble. Is just seeing how well. It looks like it's working well because when I tried to do a live feed from London, it was all crazy, and I switched to my phone. It was okay, but still shaky. But the StreamYards version was a little better. I'm on my computer game using laptop. But yeah, we in London we had a great time, but London was not what we came for. And we lived in a small section of London, which somebody on a tour said was the one of the highest poverty levels of London. We were staying in what was it, the Tower Hams or the Tower Hamptons, something like that. But it was a nice street, nice room, and that's all we had was a small room with a big bed and a bathroom. But that's all we need when we're traveling. This is luxury. We have a house. We've got a kitchen over there. We got a small living room here. It is a small cottage, and then upstairs are two bedrooms and a bathroom. And but it's huge to believe we have this whole place to ourselves. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Randall. I hope it's not you know what, because a lot of times that's how it starts. Because we had another member of our family, well, Joyce's sister came down with the the dreaded lurgy. Let's call it that for my UK friends. The dreaded lurgy came down with it
Yeah.
yesterday or 2 days ago now.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
And she's the one who sees the sick brother all the time.
And she sees Joyce's very sick brother every day.
Yeah.
So, oops.
She had no idea, of course.
Yeah, she had no idea,
She's a little stuffy.
but anyhow, so London was cool, but we didn't get what we'd consider a true UK experience yet. But coming to Cardiff, we just stupid stuff. So again, you got to remember, Joyce and I are middle class tourists. We try not to be the ugly Americans like some Americans can be, but we like to walk through and then go away from the tourist areas and go down the streets to see where the locals go and what do they eat. And we went to a restaurant called the Cardiff Tavern, and we had our first official stereotypical UK meal. We had what was it? Steak pie.
Steak and ale.
Steak and ale pie. We had steak and ale pie, and it was really pretty good. I had no idea what to expect. We had steak and ale pie, and you had a choice of mash or fries. I got the fries. Joyce got the mash, and then gravy, of course, and then peas. And you had a choice of peas or mush peas. And I don't like peas to begin with, and I'm certainly not going to eat mush peas. So we went with regular peas, and I actually ate them, and they were pretty good. Yeah, I love castles, Rick. I just love castles. Hey, Joshua, nice to have you here. I absolutely love castles. I am a castle freak. I'm a history freak. And any chance I have to see a castle, but also we like to go for architecture's sake. I like to go and do the various cathedrals. Like when we travel in Germany, we always go into the churches and the cathedrals to just look at the art and the architecture. But we had yesterday, no, 2 days ago, we had steak and steak and ale pie, and it was really good, really good. And then we finally broke down because I don't like seafood, but we finally found this little nickel and dime little mon pa shop, and had our first order of fish and chips. Now there had been fish and chip shops all over London, and we just kept resisting because we wanted to wait till we got to our. I mean, does this sound stupid? London is so London, and it's tourist, and I know all of the UK is an island, and London is technically a port town, but it is upriver, it is a bit inland. So we wanted to wait till we got to a town like Cardiff or Bangor and have real local fish and chips. This is one of those places guaranteed, fresh caught today. Yeah. But we had our first order of chips, fish and chips, and the fish was quite good. The chips were a little soggy. We didn't like the chips were okay, but they were a little soggy. We like our chips a little firmer. There's Tim JD. We were just talking about your ears must have been burning. Hey, Brecknock, welcome in. Yeah, and so here's Tim JD. Those of you, I mean, anybody who follows my channel knows Tim is here. So yeah, Joyce and I hung out part of the day yesterday with Tim, and it was beautiful. I will be very less cold, tough, manly bit here. Hanging out with Tim was beautiful. Again, if you were here earlier, I mentioned Tim on the day we were coming into Cardiff, bought a ticket, got on our train. He knew what train we were coming in on, met us on our train at Newport and rode with us the 10 minutes to Cardiff and chatted with us on the train and as we got off at Cardiff before he went back. And that was awesome because it's the first time we met a fellow YouTuber. And then he knew we were going to Gloucester, and we invited him to come to Gloucester with us because he kind of knew some of the areas up there. And we walked him to death. I feel really bad, because Joyce and I will just keep walking. And then so you have to, Tim, do you need a drink? Tim, do you need a rest? No, I'm good. Oh, it's okay. Okay. And he did all this for the cost of a Sprite. We bought him a Sprite. I feel like we ran you ragged there, Tim, but it was beautiful. I mean, it was tough to say goodbye. Um, we we've got a pack tonight, but there is a part of me that wants to hop on the train, and I know Newport's only 10 minutes away, and let's go run some trains. But we got a pack tonight. We've got a lot of crap. Because I got to tell you the stupidest part of being an American tourist in the UK. Joyce is already laughing. You can come over and join the story, Joyce. You don't want to join the story, you antisocial.
Yeah.
You can come on screen and make this a partnership show. Yeah, the thing is, my layout of the future, Rick, is actually based on, well, like I have the Dummenhorst side, and that's actually based on the town that I spent 15 years doing an exchange program with called Delmenhorst, or in German Delmenhorst, which is a outer suburb of Bremen in northwest Germany. And no castles there. There used to be a castle there, but it was torn down in the 1700s. And then the other side is Bremen/Hanover, and no castles there either. And so I went nowhere to fit it. I will eventually, now that I'm retired, I'll have time to actually start building. I've got a lot of buildings that are Delmenhorst, and actually the one side of my layout is built in with the blocks the way Delmenhorst is set up, but I actually have to move buildings around, and I still have to get some buildings and put them in that. But my biggest thing is I have to build the Delmenhorst City Hall and Water Tower and Market Square area and some of the buildings that go with there. That's the one thing that's been holding me up because I was going to custom build it, but I can't scratch build like that anymore. It's hard. I'm hoping the new medicine my doctor has put me on may start controlling the thumb tremors, but I can't hold the small tools. I can use large power tools, but like to paint and to really just try to hold everything and make small bits. it's hard for me to do anymore. You know, so I'm really trying to look into 3D printing and make some things, but it's a very complex building to make. But I'm hoping I'll learn some design techniques and I can build it that way, and maybe even use Tinkercad. There is a way I could use Tinkercad and build the Delmenhorst Town Hall, Water Tower, and then the Market Square area, and then Delmenhorst will really flow. Well, hi, Lindy. Is Kyan here? Hey, Kyan! Oma's here. Oma's over there, but she doesn't want to come on camera, apparently. She's sitting here reading or playing on her tablet. I can't tell which one.
Nice.
But, so a castle doesn't necessarily fit on that, but if I decide to build a upper level and do a little UK layout, Joyce just gave me the stink eye. She's the one that said I should build an upper level to run my Eurostar and that. But she knows that I kind of am looking at a GWR 800 because I love those trains, and we rode one. So it covers all the bases. We rode one. That's the rule. If I've ridden on the train, I can have a model of it. And I'd like to find a model. Now, Lords and Butlers is here in Cardiff, and we never made it over there. I feel really bad. It closes in an hour, but it's not easy to get to from where we're at. I'm trying to figure out the bus system here in Cardiff, and it just was not easy to, okay, what bus would I take to get from here to there? Walking distance is a little bit far to walk. So we're right in Cardiff with Lords and Butlers, and I really wanted to go, but we didn't. Should have gone to Lord and Butlers while we were here, but we have our days planned. You know, we have our days. We're going to go over here and spend whatever time here. And then today we were supposed to go to Swansea, but here's the crazy story of the day. For those of you who don't know, we had a crazy event with our flight. In fact, getting here, I know I posted it, but people don't understand exactly what happened. And I tried to explain it on our live feed from London. But our travel plans fell through. The reservations for places to stay literally fell through Sunday night, and our plane was, actually they officially fell through Monday. Our plane left Friday, and all of a sudden Monday I'm scrambling to find places to stay. Monday I had to start booking places to stay. Just something happened and all our bookings fell through. So we're scrambling to find places to stay. And as it is, we lucked out. Like this place. The guys, the couple that run this place, John and Dean, which is really weird because John and Dean are the names of my two best friends. Dean, who passed away last July 4th, I mean. And John, my two best friends, John and Dean. And the guys that own this house, John and Dean, they had put this up either like the night before or the morning I booked it. They usually don't put this place on Airbnb, but they had a week where they did not get any bookings on their other site. And so they said, oh, what the heck, we've got another place we do Airbnb with, we'll put it up. So literally, I'm desperate for a place. They just put it up. Kismet, man, because boom, we took it, and it's awesome. This is a great place. This is a gorgeous little cottage. It's amazing. Hey, Raymond Anthony, how are you? Nice to have you. So, anyhow, then with all that, finally settled on Tuesday, and we fly out Wednesday. We go to bed. We're all packed. Okay, we're all packed. We're still nervous because crossing the border from the United States to Canada, because we're flying out of Canada, even though we're Americans, we're flying out of Canada. There was a little concern about crossing the border. We did all the pre-border stuff, and we figured we were good, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know in these situations. Well, we got through the border just fine, dropped off at the airport. But what happened was that morning, 9 o'clock, I get a buzz, your flight's been canceled. All your flights have been canceled. So immediately I'm on the phone with Air Canada. It takes a while to get through. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And they said, well, we just postponed all your flights for a day. I said, well, that throws all our plans off. We've got things we're going to try to do, and that throws all our plans off. And they said, well, we can put you on an earlier flight. The earlier flight's still good. What time's the earlier flight? Well, the earlier flight leaves Windsor at 2 o'clock because we were scheduled to fly out at 6 o'clock. And, well, it's 10:30. They said, well, you need to be at the Windsor airport at 11 for 3 hours. Well, I'll be at the airport at noon. We can be there by noon. Well, you really need to be there 3 hours. Honey, I've flown through Windsor before. 2 hours would be plenty of time. Yes, but with all the security restrictions, we'll be fine. So we flew up there, got through the border, no problem. But the problem is we wound up leaving in a hurry. There's certain things we leave till the last minute to grab. You know, we packed certain things at the last minute. Well, because we were running. Well, one of the things I forgot was a hard drive, an external hard drive that I use to unload all my pictures because this computer doesn't have a big enough memory or storage on it. It doesn't have a big enough hard drive for storage. It's only got 256K on it. And so it can't handle all the video and all the pictures. So I always take a hard drive. I forgot it. So for 2 days in London, we kept looking around, 3 days in London. And for 2 days in Cardiff, we kept looking around. We could not find a shop that had one. And it's like, God, you go into America and everybody's got SD cards. You can't go into a gas station bathroom in the United States without SD cards and USB memory sticks on the wall. Tim, yeah, we are leaving. We're taking the, what is it, the 922. I can double check that real quick. Yeah, we are on the 922 to Bangor. It's a 4-hour and 18-minute train ride, but we're on the 922 out of Bangor. That's got to go through Newport, I assume. But yeah, the 922. But so anyhow, finally, we got a tip from somebody that says there's a place that sells used secondhand electronics just around the corner from a place we ate at. So Joyce and I went up there yesterday and we bought the hard drive and I brought it back and sure enough it didn't work. So we walked back up and I'm talking to them about this hard drive not working and they're like, oh, okay, you know, well, it was secondhand. We thought we tested it and worked, but it is a Western Digital and Western Digital external hard drives suck. But at that point, I didn't care. And it's a 1 terabyte hard drive and I got it for 40 pounds, I think, which is a pretty good deal. And I was happy. They actually cleaned it up and I came back and I plugged it in. But while we were waiting for them to fix it for me, Joyce just out of the blue randomly asked one of the clerks there and says, do you guys have a PlayStation 5? And I'm like, why are you asking that? And she points up on the wall and shows the big box and 2 PlayStation 5 towers. Now, you have to understand, my daughter and I have been on a waiting list for 2 years for the PlayStation 5. You cannot get them in the United States. And here's this little secondhand video game camera phone store shop in a mall here in Cardiff. And he's like, yeah, we got 2 over here and 2 upstairs still in the box. And normally I'm the one like, we're going to buy it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's going to be tough. And Joyce is like, you want to buy it?
I know this story.
And Joyce is the one that's like, you know, it's like, Joyce, we got money for this trip. Don't worry about it. You want to upgrade to first class? No, I don't want to spend that money. You know, Joyce has some Scottish blood in her, apparently, because she's a little bit tight with the money. And she had to be, I guess, married to me.
Yep.
Hush, woman. But anyhow, we decided we'll talk about it, but we were ready to walk out of there with it. We're like, how are we going to get that back? We can't. Well, it could be carry-on luggage. It could be her carry-on bag. And thinking all these crazy ways, how are we going to get home? So we went back this morning after Joyce decided she didn't want to go to Swansea, and we slept in a little bit. We walked back up into town and went to the shop and bought the PlayStation 5 because sick of waiting for it for 2 years. And we've been on a waiting call list, and they'll call you like once every 3 months. All right, you have a window from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock on such and such a date. And then it's like 10 minutes. Okay, your window is now open. You may begin purchasing. That's already sold out. Don't give me a 10-minute window if you're going to sell them out right away. But anyhow, we turned around and bought it. So then we walked around Cardiff for an hour trying to find a place where we could wrap it up. And finally went to found a DHL shop. 2. Will there be a third?
No.
Okay, usually there's 3. That was Joyce. Well, hello there, Tris. Welcome in. I am in Cardiff right now, and we are traveling up to Bangor tomorrow morning, and then we'll be in Bangor, and then we'll be in Liverpool, and then we'll be in Edinburgh, and then we'll be in York, and then we'll be in London again. There's actually a previous video. If you go to my page, I printed up, I typed out our itinerary in the comment section. You don't have to watch the video. The itineraries in the comment sections of video about our trip to the UK, because we were trying to meet some people. We're actually having a meet up at York, and at least 4 people. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think 4 people have confirmed they will be there. York on June 22nd, the York National Railway Museum. I will be there at 11 o'clock, but you can come later. Just text me or email me and let me know you're there, and we'll walk out and find you and bring you in. But Tim, I'm pointing down at my computer, but that way. Tim JD, we already met him. Oh my God, it was like meeting a brother you never knew you had. It was so beautiful to meet Tim, and I hope we didn't drive him crazy because, oh my God, Tim was awesome. I wanted to spend a lot more time with Tim. Joyce and I had a blast hanging out with Tim, and we ran his poor man ragged around Gloucester. I hope his knees recovered. It was just it was tough to say goodbye. It was tough to say goodbye. Well, hi there, Chris. Speaking of somebody we want to meet, but Chris has already told us we can't come to his house, but he says he'll agree to meet us somewhere in Edinburgh. I hope. I mean, he may change his mind, but he doesn't want us in his house. But we just had an absolute blast. So we bought this PlayStation 5 and we mailed it off. We just mailed it off a couple hours ago from the DHL station here in Cardiff and sent it home. And they said it'll be there Friday. It'll be at our house Friday. So we told my daughter, look for a big yellow box, PlayStation 5, because we have been looking for that. I can't believe we bought that. Chris says hello, by the way.
Hi, Chris.
Joyce says hi, Chris, if you didn't hear that. Come stick your face on the camera and say hi. I don't wanna. Stubborn mule. Whatever. Yeah, so, and then today, after we did all that, we just decided we wanted a snack, because Joyce and I usually, when we travel, we eat a light breakfast and then we either eat a big lunch and a snack dinner, or we eat a snack lunch and a big dinner. We try to keep eating down. We're walking a lot and not eating a lot. But we went to this, I assume it's a chain. Does anybody know a chain of cake and confectionery and chocolate coffee shops called Mrs. Potts? Does anybody know this chain, Mrs. Potts? Well, hey, there's St. Mary's Church. How are you? You've been away and now back at work, so I'm unfortunately unable to meet you. I'm sorry. Yeah, it would have been awesome to meet you too, Stuart. It's this is why it's such a blessing the people we are going to meet because we got to meet Tim, and that was again that's if I talk too much about it, I'll probably start crying a bit because just to meet it was our first YouTuber, the first time we met a fellow YouTuber, and the worst thing about Tim is what's really scary about Tim is I think it's because we're both left-handers. But Tim has been a fan of my Matt Clark stuff. Tim has been a fan of the Matt Clark stuff, and Tim enjoyed me doing some of the voices live for him. But I started talking to him about Series 3, the series to come next year. And that son of a already had some of our jokes ready to go. You know, these are things only Joyce knows where I said, okay, we're going to do this. Now, if you watch Series 2, you know that Five-Finger Bill is back, except now he's Four-Finger Bill. And I already have some plans. And I've already sketched them out and talked to Joyce about it. And we're sitting on the train talking about Matt Clark, and Tim goes, so are you going to have this? And I'm like, would you stop predicting it? It was scary because like last year for Series 1, he wrote a nice letter to me. And he was like, so I bet this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. I'm like, he predicted 90% of everything that was going to happen. I didn't think it was that predictable. I mean, I thought some was predictable, but it was like he had been reading the script over my shoulder, and now he's already predicting very accurately things coming in Series 3. So Tim is either psychic or he's in my head. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Nice to see you here. But oh my God, anyhow, going back to Mrs. Potts. Joyce and I are not cultured people, all right? We're not high society. I am highly educated. Okay, I can rattle off my degrees. I can rattle off the societies I'm a member of, blah, 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 if I needed to be egotistical and defend my sense of honor. But I'm happy if people think I'm just a fool because it allows me to work around them. But Joyce and I are common people. We're common people. And I know that has a subtle meaning in the UK. That there's a very definitive meaning of common in the UK. And maybe we're that too. But we went to this Mrs. Potts. And they have what was that cake called? Oh my, I can't remember the particular cake. It was a very chocolate cake. It was the best piece of cake I've ever had in my life. Just the cake. Forget the frosting, the dark chocolate, Mrs. Pritchard's cake or something like that. Do you remember at all? Seriously, it was the cake itself, by itself, was worth the price of admission. It was so moist and so Matilda. That was what it was. It was called their Matilda cake. It was chocolate and chocolate and more chocolate and chocolate. That was the best piece of cake I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. And I know it's probably a chain shop or chain store or something like that. Yes, I will have to add that as a street in, I will have to add that as a street in Big Gulch, Tim. That Spread Eagle Lane we saw. Yeah, that would be a good one. We had great weather in London, and we've had very good weather in Cardiff. We did have a little bit of rain yesterday, and today, it was when we went to bed last night and we're deciding what to do for today, because we were planning on going to Swansea. When we went to bed, the forecast was lots of rain, clouds, and high winds. Well, the high winds blew away most of the rain, but we just decided we weren't up to going to Cardiff, especially it was going to be so hard to get out to Three Cliffs beach for us, because that's where we wanted to go in Swansea, was outside of Swansea to a place called Three Cliff Beach, Three Cliff Point and Three Cliff Beach. Three Cliff, not Three Cliffs, Three Cliff. And it would have been beautiful, and we were looking forward to seeing the sea, even though technically it's not the sea there yet. But we just decided not to do it and wound up going back into town and doing some shopping, picking up the knickknacks that we knew we wanted to get before we left town. But oh my goodness, that Mrs. Potts cake. Hey, Ewan, nice to have you here. We just, oh my goodness, and a really good hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea, but I love hot chocolate, and they had a really good dark chocolate, hot chocolate, really good. So that cake alone was just unbelievable. I literally have never had all the birthday cakes in my life, all the other people's birthdays we celebrate, cakes for celebrations, and Joyce makes good cakes. My daughter Lynn makes great cakes. My daughter Lynn is an amazing baker. My daughter Liz is a very good cook. My son AJ, but he doesn't bake. He cooks, but he doesn't bake. So my two daughters, and Joyce are fantastic bakers. My mom could bake cakes really well, but never in my life have I had such a wonderful piece of cake. It was an experience. We just sat there. Joyce took 2 bites, and I'm just looking at her, and she's like, "This is the best cake I've ever had in my life." And I'm like, "It is, isn't it?" It was amazing. So, sometimes even chain stores can get something right, but yeah. So it was just, those are the experiences we love, because, we're not here to rail fan. We're not here to rail fan. Everybody's like, we're so close to the Severn Valley and the Taft Valley, and you could do this heritage line here. And we didn't plan this trip for rail fanning. The rail fanning is at the National Railway Museum. I have enjoyed being at the stations and looking at trains, but we just did not put it in to go rail spotting or to ride heritage trains. We have specific things. There's reasons we picked where we're going, and there's specific things in those areas we want to do. And so I know people are like, "Oh, you got to see this while you're here. You got to see that." Joyce and I kind of already had what we wanted to do there. So I hope people don't get offended, because I know we're going to go places and people say, "Why didn't you go here?" Because that's not what we wanted to go see. It's like London. People want to point out all these cool things in London. The cool things in London for us was Abbey Road Studio, because we're big Beatle fans, especially me. We went to Abbey Road Studio, and we did the Jack the Ripper tour. That was our big things in London, the Jack the Ripper tour. Although we loved the Tower of London. Tower of London was very cool. Tower of London was very cool. But we saw Buckingham Palace, and we saw some other things. And we're going to be back in London on June 25th. We'll be back in London on June 25th and 26th. And then we leave early on the 27th to come back to America. But Cardiff Castle was amazing. Joyce and I really loved it. In fact, Joyce, I think Cardiff Castle ranks with one of her favorite castles. Joyce's favorite castle, I think, what is it, Rheinfels? Yeah, Joyce loves Rheinfels Castle, which is in the town of St. Goar on the Rhine River. Joyce loves Rheinfels Castle, which is the largest castle in Germany, or was the largest castle in Germany. But it's mostly ruins. But Joyce loves it, and well, I like it too. There's a lot to explore in it, and but Cardiff Castle was very cool. The old Norman keep set up as an old Motte and Bailey. You got the hill, and you got the Norman keep, but I'm sure there must have been the Roman walls that were there before that. That was really cool. But Cardiff Castle, and just even the shopping district up in Cardiff is kind of fun to go through. Yeah, and there's never enough time, no matter where you go, and you always come back. And I don't know if this will be Joyce and my only trip to the UK, but it is our only trip to the UK in the foreseeable future. We definitely want to get back to Germany next year, because that is my heart and soul. That's Germany, and I hope nobody gets offended by that. But yeah, my heart and soul is Germany, and there's a lot of places in Germany I want to get to that I haven't seen, and I always love to go to Hamburg and go to Miniature Wonderland in Germany. And then we do want to do a Scandinavian trip. We want to do Copenhagen, Oslo, Malmo, Stockholm, and over to Helsinki in Finland. We would like to do that. And then we ran into some Polish people the other night on Cardiff Bay, and they were desperately trying to talk us into spending some time in Poland. We've had a lot of great meetings. I mean, that's the best. You know what? That's the best. Joyce and I are very outgoing people for the most part, especially with the locals. We don't want to come across as the rude, bossy, mean Americans, and we always try to be polite and friendly. Joyce and I always try to be polite and friendly, and just how Joyce is. We're walking along by Cardiff Bay. We're walking along that nice parkway and everything they have, that beautiful park that goes across the bay. Um, and there's a woman who has just sat down. She's pulling off her shoe and she's pulled down her sock and she's pulling off a band-aid. And Joyce knows immediately what she's doing because Joyce does the same thing. And Joyce walks up to her. The woman was kind of talking, a little disgruntled. And Joyce says, "Do you need a bandage?" And the woman says, "Well, yes." And Joyce says, "Wait on, I've got a couple. I don't have a big one, but I got a couple of small ones. Will that do?" And the woman's just like, "Oh, yes, oh, yeah, yes, yes, please, 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 please." And it wound up being a Polish couple who his job had him live in London for 10 years. And now they've moved to the Cardiff area. And they were just walking, and Joyce and I just happened to be there. And Joyce happened to have the bandages. Well, that turned into a half an hour talk and just getting to meet these people and know them and get their story and our story and help them out, and so these people, just that weird bit of, where the stars align, that synchronicity where different events seem to have happened that seem to have been meant to happen. Indeed, Raymond. You're on your way to Austria Growler. Hey, Jean Ricard, how are you? I'm sorry. Actually, Jean Ricard, I haven't posted that because I got a green screen. When Joyce and I went to Abbey Road, what people may not know is I didn't post them on Facebook, but I did exactly the same steps and hand positions for the four Beatles at the exact point on the street that is on the Abbey Road album cover. I actually did all four. I'm going to green screen it and make my own version of Abbey Road, the Abbey Road album cover with me doing all four. I ran out there. I even did Paul barefoot. And what you got to know is, for example, John's in the front in all white with his hands in his pocket with his jacket back. And then Ringo is second with his two jacket sides. But John, Ringo, and then George is bringing up the rear in all jeans, a jean shirt and blue jeans. They're all walking left-footed first. They're all left foot first. Paul is right foot first, and he's barefoot. And of course, many Beatle conspiracy theorists will read into that. That was Paul is out of step with the other Beatles. Paul was leaving the Beatles. Although at that time that picture was shot, John was the one who had quit the Beatles. John was already saying, "Shh, don't tell anybody, but I'm leaving the Beatles. Let's get our new record contract, but I'm out." And then, so Paul said, "Well, fine." And Paul went out and started recording his own solo album because John was recording and releasing his. And they'd all gone back into the studio to finish up a couple of things on Abbey Road and some stuff for Let It Be. because Let It Be is their last album, but they actually recorded Let It Be before Abbey Road. But anyhow, John had kind of already quit the Beatles. But Paul was the one who finally got tired of all the duplicity with everybody keeping it quiet that John was quitting the band and the band was breaking up. And there was some other issues between them. And Paul finally, with his solo album, just said, we're through. No, I don't see us recording together again. And John was very mad because Paul stole the thunder of John announcing the Beatles breaking up. And then John acted like the Beatles were not going to break up. John was like, oh, Paul left the Beatles, and he allowed Paul to take all the negative criticism, but John had already quit the Beatles. John had already told Paul and George and Ringo, I'm leaving. But then Paul did the legal work to sue to officially break it up, which became a mess, which turned him against the other three Beatles. So yes, I am recreating the album cover, although Joyce did take the pictures at the wrong angle. She needed to run into the middle of the street and get it straight on. But there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people there, and there's cars that are people are trying to get to work. So we did the Beatle Museum, and we went to a couple of different Beatle shops, and we went to the Abbey Road Studios, and I got this shirt, the Abbey Road Studio shirt. We picked up a couple of Beatle things, but I'm a bit of a Beatle geek. Yeah, it's the middle of the day. Joyce and I had done our last bit of shopping, and we got to pack tonight. We're going to go out to dinner. There's a little tavern down the road. We're going to go out to dinner tonight, and that will be our last dinner in Cardiff. And so one of the things we had planned to do in Cardiff fell through, and so we wound up with a little extra time, and that's today. So blame it on Joyce.
Okay, then.
I am blaming it on Joyce. They're talking about the pictures, that they're not at the right angle.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I'll green screen them. Won't be at quite the right angle, but it'll work. I'll make it work. I was just happy to do it. I had a few people watching, laughing, and everybody's asking each other, hey, would you take my picture? And, some of us Beatle snobs, we're telling the people, no, you're doing it the wrong way. You got to go this way. You got to go that way. Don't. But, in the end, who cares? But that was a blast. And then when we go to Liverpool, Liverpool for us is 90% Beatles and 10% Liverpool. But when we go up to Bangor, we're going to meet Alan Wiles from Dragon Junction. And again, I talked about this a little while ago. Alan, about 50 minutes ago, Alan knew we wanted to meet him, and Alan was very willing to have us come up. And so I just told Alan, I said, okay, what's the nearest train station to you? And we'll take a train, and we can either catch a bus up to your place or a tram or whatever. He's like, no, I'll come and get you. Alan is going to drive an hour to our place in Gwynedd, just south of Bangor. We gave him the address, and he volunteered. Alan Wiles volunteered. Just said, I will come and get you. I'll pick you up, and I will take you and give you a tour of the north coast of Wales, and then you can come over to our house and see the shed, see the trains. He's actually going to let us in the train shed. He may regret it, but he's going to let us in his train shed and watch his layout run. And then he turned around and volunteered to take us home. And we're like, we can catch a train. No, I'll take you back. It's no problem. And we're just like, wow. What? Nobody has to go out of their way to do that. Nobody has to do that, but he is willing to do that. And so we're not going to say no. I feel bad that he's going to drive that far. I'll pay for the petrol or whatever he wants. All right, take care. Nice to see you. Hey, Lee is here. Hi, Lee. Anfield Road is here. Hi, Lee. You've been gone for 3 weeks. You're back now. Or are you still gone? But so that is Saturday. So Saturday is going to be the next big day. Because again, for the third time I'll talk about, we met Tim JD here. And oh my God, that was too awesome. The only thing I wish we could have done is if Tim would have dragged us back to his house and let me watch his trains run. I would have happily done that. It was just too cool. I mean, Joyce and I had things. We did Gloucester in the morning, then we had some things to do in the afternoon. But I would have loved to have gone to Tim's house. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. Yep, I'm on early because Joyce and I actually had a dead spot here, and I didn't know what to do, so I thought I'd go online and talk to people. Because Joyce and I have been talking each other's ear off. It's been great. The UK so far has been wonderful. Joyce and I do like to make friends with the people in the shops. And so wherever we eat, wherever we just try to talk. And, in London, that can be a little weird. But we ate at in London, we ate at a pizzeria run by a Pakistani gentleman. And we had a nice long talk with him. And it was real good pizza. It was a outdoor oven grill pizza, and it was really good, really good. And we talked to him because it was I didn't read it, it just said it was pepperoni, and of course pepperoni is usually pork, and he says no, it's halal beef. And I said, oh, because so he says yes, it's cut properly, it's done properly, so I'm allowed to touch it and cook with it and everything else. I was like, oh, okay, great. And that just led from one conversation to another, which was brilliant. So made friends with him, made friends with some people on the Jack the Ripper tour, just people you get to know. But meeting Tim was just amazing because Tim is the first person from YouTube we met, and it was so special. It wasn't long enough. When we said after going through Gloucester and we finally got to Newport, and Tim had to get off, and our train was going to continue on to Cardiff, and it's only 10 minutes away. I think there were 3 hugs, and then Tim got off, and Joyce and I sat down, and then we had to get up and stare at the window as the train finally passed. He was there looking at. We waved one last time. Bye. It really was. I mean, there was some tears coming in my eyes, and it's weird it got that emotional, but that's just how tight the bond is when you meet somebody from YouTube that you just connect with. It was brilliant. Jean Ricard asked if there's anything you have found that you want to take home as a souvenir. She did buy a Cardiff hoodie. She did buy a Cardiff hoodie because it was colder than she wanted.
I don't know.
Hey, Jackie. Jackie's here too. Yeah, Lee, we were just talking to Jackie. We will see you on June 15th. We're going to make you take us through Anfield. You and Jackie can show us Anfield and take us through hopefully there is a museum. Because when we were in London, we found out that both all the teams that play in London, all the EPL teams that play in London, all have museums open and allow you access to the pitch to see the pitch. So I'm assuming Anfield does that too. So I want a tour of Anfield. And then Joyce and I will take you guys out to dinner. That'll be the 15th. And then the 16th, I'm driving down to see, I'm taking a train down to see Jim at Hover Motion. If you guys know Hover Motion. Hover Motion was the first UK site I joined. Hover Motion was the first UK site I joined. And then New Junction, David Cottis-Moore, a couple of Will at IC82 was very early in that. I think Will at IC82, Sam's Train, and then I started meeting people and talking to Tim JD and Chris at Hales Heritage Railway. But those were the first people I joined. Will, Jim at Hover Motion because Jim did German trains, but his videos were in English. And I can, I watch the German videos, but sometimes it's just nice to listen in English. But it was cool to see a UK guy, somebody else that's not German, who does the German trains. Are the trains smaller? Well, the trains we've been on so far are shorter. They're shorter, but once we get on the Azumas, the LNERs, they'll be the same length, 9 long wagons. I will say this to talk about trains. I will say the seats on the Transport for Wales and cross-country trains and the GWR trains we've been on, a little less comfortable than German trains. The seats are very hard. We've been on a Class 170, was that no, yeah, that was a cross-country. I think it was a Class 170 cross-country. We've been on a Transport for Wales, and I forget what class that was. And then we were on a GWR Class 800. And to be honest, the Class 800 seats, not very comfortable. I was a little disappointed. If I was on a long journey and wanted to sleep, that would have been impossible. Hey, Nancy J, how are you? Hey, you won your case against YouTube. Cool. Nice. Yay. She won her case. But, so, the seats are not as comfortable. But otherwise, very similar. Otherwise, very similar. Space and the racks where you put your luggage up. And tomorrow is really going to be interesting because Joyce and I are taking a 4.5-hour train ride. It's our longest train ride while we're in the UK. It's 4.5 hours from it's 4 hours and 20 minutes from Cardiff up to Bangor. So that's going to be our longest and hardest journey. So I'm hoping the seats are comfortable. If we're going to be in them for 4.5 hours, they better be comfortable. The Class 170 Turbo Star. So it's been, but again, it's just been great, and you meet nice people. But the special is if meeting Tim is what it's going to be like every time we meet YouTube people, it's going to be so. It's going to be beyond blissful because again, meeting Tim was just it was special, and we're eager to meet Alan. We're eager to meet Chris up in Edinburgh, and we're going to meet Lee in Liverpool, and also while we're in Liverpool, we're going down to Manchester to meet Jim Hover Motion. And that's going to be very special to me because, like I said, Jim is the first UK channel I ever joined. He's the one I've been connected to the longest. And we talked about German trains because I was an American into German trains. He was a UK guy into German trains. So that will be special. And it's not like one is more important than the other. It's just there are different connections with each person. There's just, so Alan's going to be wild. I'm hoping there'll be some special silliness while we're visiting Alan's shed. I don't know if he'll film a video while we're there, but I would love to be a part of one of his videos and do something very silly with it. Whether it's something from Matt Clark or something he wants to do. I've got ideas, but I don't want to share them. But I've got some crazy ideas of what would be cool to do if we're at his shed. Yeah, well, we've already got the date picked, so just talk to Jackie Lee. June 15th. June 15th. 13th and 14th, Joyce and I are busy. 16th, Joyce and I are busy, and we leave on the 17th. So the 15th is the afternoon of the 15th is when we can hook up with you because, again, as much as we're meeting YouTube people, this is also, again, this sounds so rude and dismissive, but this is our vacation, and there are things we do want to do while we're here. And again, for anybody who can, June 22nd at York National Railway Museum, June 22nd. I know 4 people have told me they will be there, and I'm just gobsmacked. I mean, that's the word I kept using with Tim. It was just, I've just been gobsmacked to meet him. If every YouTube meeting is going to be the way it was with Tim, it's going to be really, really painful to leave the UK because meeting Tim was just amazing, and it was funny. And he was so polite, and Joyce and I talked his ear off, which obviously I can do, and we got to learn from him too, and he showed us some things and told us about some things in Gloucester and that, and showed us some things on the train ride that we might not have noticed, and so it was so awesome. I just touching, awesome, very special. And if every meeting's going to be like that, it's going to be insane by the time we leave the UK because it's already been, it's tough. Saying goodbye to Tim yesterday was so tough. And now he's looking at a way to say hello one more time before we leave. So yeah, that was too great. And Joyce, you're really not going to stick your face on once and say hi, huh? You don't want to. I want to make her feel bad. Good. Antisocial. It is our trip. You can be sociable. And then another thing we did is my grandson got sick with the lurgy, the showstopper, right before we left. My grandson. Apparently, it was only bad for him for a day or two, and he got relatively better. Well, he got better. My daughter came down with it. She's had it longer. She had it worse, and so we didn't get to see him before we left because everybody was quarantining. So we didn't get to see my grandson. I mean, we saw him whatever day it was we saw him before we, but not the usual. Pardon?
He was there for Sunday dinner.
Well, it was Sunday dinner we saw him. But we did a video chat with my daughter and my grandson yesterday, and oh my God, it's, that's the joy. Hey, Leslie, Costa Air Kimru. Yes, thank you, Kimru. Yeah, we have. I've got to work on my Welsh dialect, especially in the north where they like to speak only Welsh. We've heard some Welsh spoken down here, but actually, even here in Cardiff, we've heard every accent. There's a lot of Dutch in town today. Yeah, this place is amazing. I did post some pictures on Facebook for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook. It is an amazingly, it's a small little cottage, but small is a relative term. Plenty of space for me and Joyce to spread out. And we've got a nice little kitchen over here, not even a kitchenette, really a full-size kitchen over here, which we don't use because we use the refrigerator. Joyce and I, this is how Joyce and I travel. We go to a bakery and a grocery store and we buy bread and we buy some meat and cheeses and jellies and we have a continental breakfast every morning. We get up and we eat a piece of fruit and a piece or two of toast with meat and cheese or jelly on it. And then we go do our things. If we know we're going to be on the train, we might pack a sandwich for lunch. We might buy a snack while we're out, cookies and a water or cookies and a pop or something like that. And then we'll do dinner, or we'll decide to get a big lunch and then we'll just have a light dinner. And that's how we travel. We don't eat a lot. Although today we ate a lot because we went to Mrs. Potts and Mrs. Potts' cake was ridiculously good. That was sinfully good. And then we went to a ice cream place up by the castle called Caspa's last night because we had a big lunch. So our dinner last night was ice cream. Except I had I had a piece of cake again, and Joyce had a hot fudge brownie chocolate chip cookie with ice cream thing on it, and they were both decadently good.
For sure.
It was decadently good.
There's stuff.
It was just ridiculously good. And then Mrs. Potts today just blew us away. That was such a good piece of cake. Oh, there's all kinds of Mackies around, Andrew. We just don't go. Although I will amend that. We actually waited in line at a Mackey's and then tried to do our order board, and then something kept screwing up on it, and I just got frustrated and said, I don't want McDonald's anyhow, you know. And I kind of walked off, and Joyce is kind of like, we could order still. I'm like, nah. And that's when we found this Mrs. Potts, and I said, that sounds good. Cake and hot chocolate, that sounds good. Jean Ricard is begging you to come on screen. Oh, I think we can take Lee and make sure that Lee sees all the trophies that Everton has never won. Although Lee might know and say, hey, you know, this field was originally Everton's field, which is true. Where Liverpool plays Anfield Road, that was actually Everton's place, and then Liverpool took it over when when Everton started playing somewhere else, and then they built the new Everton Stadium years ago. Can't stand running them because they're within the end of the sightings. Can you come on? I'm not doing this as I can't do this as where I can bring people on because I'm not doing it at StreamYard or Streamlabs where I could actually add people. This is just my OBS. So unfortunately, I got nobody that I can't pull anybody up. Otherwise, I'd probably have Tim on and other people, and of course you too. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just me and a camera. And Joyce is being stubborn and doesn't want to show her face today. So you have to stare at me. But I am shadowed a bit here with the sunlight behind me. But this has just been a beauty. You can't breathe. Joyce's sinuses and allergies here. It's a high allergen day according to the Weather Channel.
Wind's blowing.
Yep. Hey, Jean Ricard, I've tried to talk to her. She's not listening to me. She's over here giving me the stink eye every time I mention coming on. Yeah, sure. I think they'd like a laugh, Jackie. They'd like a good laugh. Ah, here's an Everton fan. Well, that's what we're waiting to see, Leslie. Because right now, they're all hit and miss. So we don't know how much our travel plans are going to be impacted with the strike starting this week. So far, nothing we're writing has been affected, but that will change. That will change. But right now, we're okay. I believe we're okay to Bangor tomorrow. Right now, we're not seeing any of those trains canceled. We've seen a couple of trains canceled, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s when the UK was having rail strikes and all kinds of strikes, and those could go on forever. And I've seen other rail strikes through the years. I'm hoping it might be resolved, but right now the strikers are only hitting random times and random lines because yeah, the The 21, the 23rd, and the 25th isn't keep calm and carry on. Are you telling us that our trips to, let's see, 21, where are we traveling? That's to Edinburgh? No, that's to York. That's Edinburgh to York. So you're saying that one's in danger? Ruh-roh. Thanks, Scooby! Now, 23rd, we're not traveling anywhere. We're in York, but we're not going anywhere. And if we do, we're hiring a car, either to drive a car ourselves or we'll hire a driver to take us somewhere. And then the 25th, that's when we go to London. So that'll be the other issue. So you have to clarify that a bit, Leslie. So those were the dates in the media. So yeah, we'll have to see. We might have to change trains. And yes, we ran into that a bit in London. A couple of tube stations closed for lack of staff. They closed a few. And but still they were saying the big stuff was not going to start hitting till June 6th. But our train was good to Cardiff. Our trains so far in here have been good. And according to Transport for Wales today, our train for tomorrow is good. And we were just at the train station today because we were looking at. See, I'm still trying to learn how to book trains. And we went in there and was like, could we upgrade these to first class? And the lady's like, there is no first class on that train, dear. It's like, well, can we reserve seats? We don't reserve seats on that train, sir. Okay, you just come here and get on the train. Okay. No, Jackie, I will definitely be wearing something Liverpool, and you can wear something Liverpool. And Lee can wear his Everton, and we can all have a good laugh. Because I didn't do that. I did not wear my Liverpool shirt in London. I didn't wear my LFC shirt in London. But I'm hoping to buy a jersey at the museum shop. Either a Mo Salah jersey or, God, if they'd have one, I would love an old Michael Owen jersey because Michael Owen will always be my favorite Liverpool player. And I know Bill Shankly and I know some Liverpool people think Michael Owen's a traitor, but Michael Owen was just a star when I was able to, thanks to ESPN, I was able to really watch the Premier League. Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen as a tag team. And I know Ian Rush, is one of the great legends. I remember Ian Rush playing for Liverpool and all the great teams, Ramsey, all the way back to Paisley and Shanklin. But Michael Owen will always be my favorite Liverpool player. Even over Steve Gerrard, Michael Owen is my personal favorite Liverpool player, and Mo Salah is probably my second favorite Liverpool player. So a number 10 jersey and a number 11 jersey would be just fine. But I also have a lot of Beatles stuff I might pick up in Liverpool. So yeah, it is scary. The strike, ever since we heard that right before we left, that there were potential we've been worried about it. So we will do what we got to do. Oh, they had to split a train. So they're talking about some of the trains that are being affected by short staff here.
Gotcha.
Yes, Bill Shankly was manager at Carlisle before Liverpool. Yeah. I just remember him. I thought he played at Liverpool too before he managed at Liverpool. But he would have played before my time. I just remember him as a coach. I remember him as a coach at Liverpool and one of the great coaches at Liverpool. He won a lot of trophies. Klopp is winning a lot of trophies, but he's not winning the two big ones. Now, yes, he did win one Champions League trophy, but he's had three other finals where his team showed up and just looked like idiots. And he's only won one Premier League in 6 years as coach. And to me, the Premier League is the biggest title. So I'm not a super huge Klopp fan. I think he's a great coach, but I think he is dropping the ball with a lot of things. I mean, there are too many games where Liverpool shows up, especially against lower tier opponents, which cost them the Premier League. He's To me, Premier League is more important than any other trophy, and he's only won that once in 6 years. And you don't know shit about football. That's all right. I mean, I follow football. I follow American football. I follow your world football. I'm not a huge train geek, but Joyce and I do love traveling by train. I'm not a rail fanning. I'm not going to go out to a train station and take a lot of pictures of trains. In fact, when I got here, I said I was going to take pictures of every train we rode on, and then I didn't. I took one picture yesterday of a train we rode on. I finally remembered to go out and take a picture. But that was the thing, like with Tim. We did take a couple of selfies with Tim when we met him, but we were so involved with being in Gloucester and looking at the cathedral, I never thought, hey, Tim, we got to get a picture of us together. I feel so bad that we did not get more selfies. Now, of course, I joked about getting Tim in a picture once, and he said, no, all in fun. But I feel bad because I really do like to have pictures of us. Hey, we once met. I've got video of Tim, but I didn't get a picture of him. I just, it's so, you can't control the weather. You can't control strikes. All you can do is get around it. And when we run into problems, Joyce and I usually find a way to get around it. I mean, even today was insane because, again, some of you came in later. Joyce and I, I'm laughing at us, hysterically laughing at us. We've been laughing about it. We bought a PlayStation 5 today. That is the most money I've ever spent as a tourist in my life. In fact, I've never spent that much money on even a train in one sitting. That is the most money I've ever just dropped, hobby related, toy related thing. That is the most money I've ever dropped. We found a PlayStation 5 at a shop here in Cardiff and we bought it. And we mailed it back to the US by DHL. And we're looking at ourselves going, what were we thinking? But getting to mail it was the insanity. Mailing it was a problem. We went to 3 different post offices here in Cardiff. And again, Joyce and I have to learn a bit of culture here. See, in America, you can't go to an American post office where they don't have the postal wrap. Rolls of the postal wrap, rolls of bubble wrap, everything that you can literally buy it right there and pack it right there. All different kinds of box sizes, everything else. They just have it all for you right there. And it was insane, but we finally found at DHL, they had a box big enough that with a little finagling we could get it in and wrap it securely and mail it off. It was expensive to mail it, but we didn't care. We have been on a waiting list for 2 years for that. Yeah, that was the day we met Tim. We got a couple of selfies with Tim the day we met, but yesterday in Gloucester we didn't take any. In fact, Joyce didn't take a lot of pictures. Joyce is the photographer, and I'm mildly upset with her because she didn't take a lot of pictures in Gloucester, and I'm like, woman, pictures, that's your job. What? No, we got. we're at the Yeah, they probably, yeah, and it was more expensive in England than it would be in the United States. But literally, Randall, again, if people aren't into PlayStations or PlayStation 5s, they don't, this is stupid. But yeah, we dropped too much, but we didn't care. We paid more than we would have paid, more than we would have paid when we eventually get one in the United States by a considerable amount. But as Joyce said, it was there. The time to buy something that you think you want is when you see it. Don't wait because it may not be there tomorrow. And so we bought it. What am I blaming on Joyce? I'm blaming Joyce's job is to take pictures. I videotape, Joyce takes pictures. That has been the deal for the since 2003 when we started. Well, even before that. Joyce has always been the photographer and I've been the videographer. I video, Joyce takes pictures. I got video of the cathedral, but we don't have a lot of pictures. So who am I supposed to blame? Am I supposed to blame me for not reminding Joyce to take pictures? Yes, it will. The PlayStation 5s are not zoned. Zoning went out with regular DVDs and PlayStation 3, I think. Maybe PlayStation, I don't think even PlayStation 4s were zoned. But zoning went out. The only issue it has is it has a UK power cord, but that's not an issue because it's just like your laptop computer. You can take your laptop computer and as long as you have the right adapter, plug it into any socket around the world and you'll be fine. It won't blow up. Your electric shaver will blow up if you come to the United States and plug it into a wall in Canada or into the UK. That stuff will blow up. Your 110 voltage stuff without power regulators and voltage adapters. But your laptop computer, PlayStations, they all have it built in. So it will work just fine in the United States. We just have to have an adapter, which I happen to have at home. Actually, Randall, PlayStation 5s officially are $3.99 and $5.99 for the basic console. One is all digital, no disk drive, no putting in disk, which we don't want. And then they're $4.99 with the disk drive. That's the basic console and one controller, blah, blah, blah. But the only way you can get them right now is in bundles and different shops like Target, Gameplay in the United States, Walmart they'll have like once a week, twice a month, they'll have a window where you can go online and you actually have to pay them now. Like Walmart, just to be on their waiting list, you have to pay them. And then they want $5.99, $6.99, $7.99 with these bundles where you get a game and some other special stupid crap with it. So that's just ridiculous. So we wound up, we had it, we bought it. So Leslie, yeah, again, with the 220 volts in the United States, no, we're 110. We're 110, 120. But the your PlayStations, to avoid the hassles, they all have it built in like your laptop computer. Your laptop computer has it already built into its power system that it reads both. You always have this little, on your, so if you read this will say 110 to 240. It handles all voltage systems. And the PlayStation's the same way because it's too expensive to try to make it, okay, here's the ones for the UK and Australia who use 222 or Europe, and then all the other people. So they just make it with one system that covers all voltage systems, and then you just plug it in. All you need is the right power cord. Well, technically all you need is the right plug. So we're good. Yeah, we want the disk drive version too. But no, we didn't get the digital version. We got the yeah, we got the see, the digital version is actually cheaper than the disk drive version. They charge, they're going to charge you more to have the tray to put your game disc in. So the digital version is $3.99. The disk drive version is $4.99. But your disk drive version can still do the digital stuff. It just also has the disk drive built in. But yeah, we've been waiting 2 years since they came out. We've been looking to get one, and so we finally just saw it. It's just weird. It was in the UK at a secondhand shop we were at, and never been used. It was bought by one of these people that bought 5 of them, and then realized they weren't going to be able to sell the other 4 or whatever the way they wanted to, so they took it to a secondhand shop and turned it in. Got their money for it, and the secondhand shop is selling it for a little bit more, but we don't care. We've got it. It's already in the mail. It's on its way home. It's supposed to be there Friday. But yeah, the Gloucester Cathedral was beautiful. Tim had a great statement when we went and saw it. We got there. Tim goes, "We used to build them great." And like now, Joyce and I have seen the Cologne Cathedral, which is one of the biggest cathedrals in the world. And we have seen the Frauenkirche in Munich. We have seen the Minster. It's not really a cathedral, but although it's called the Ulmer Dome, it is called a cathedral, but technically it's not a cathedral. That has the tallest single church spire tower in the world. But you don't get into a comparison like, oh, the Cologne Cathedral is better. Now, we haven't seen Exeter Cathedral, which Exeter is one of the largest. I mean, I believe it's Exeter Cathedral is bigger than the Cologne Cathedral in terms of volume. But the Cologne Cathedral's 2 towers are like 2 of the tallest towers with a cathedral, whatever. But I think the Cologne Cathedral is like the 5th biggest in the world. At one time, it was the biggest building in the world, even bigger than the Great Pyramid. It topped the Great Pyramid and was the biggest building in the world until the Empire State Building passed it. But there's now 2 cathedrals that were built in Spain in the last 100 years that are both bigger than the Cologne Cathedral. Exeter is bigger by volume than the Cologne Cathedral. But they're all different. Even when they're, quote, Gothic style, they're all different. It's the different woodworking style, the different Gothic way they built it. English Gothic is different than French Gothic, which is different than German Gothic. And I just love the architecture, and again, that humans made these with much simpler tools than what we have today. And the beauty, the constructive beauty of them. I'm not into the religion, but the beauty of the architecture hits me to say, we humans built this. And I don't want to disparage, because a lot of people do that. You look at London, there are some really funky modern buildings. I mean, you've got the one that's the big building that's called the Shard. And then you've got this other giant building, I forget what it's called, but it looks like a giant butt plug. Sorry if you don't know what that is. That sticks up in the middle. The glass is beautiful on it, and modern architecture is great, and it's wonderful, but there's just something about what we built 500 years ago that's impressive, or when you look at the pyramids. Well, Jean Ricard, that's because, especially in Germany, and maybe even in the UK, religious buildings mostly survived, or when they were destroyed, were the first things rebuilt. That's where you see the architecture. When you walk into, there's a small town in Germany called Goslar. Okay? There's a small town called Goslar. Goslar has got 3 or 4 streets of these buildings that date back to the 14 and 1500s. But it's got churches that date back to 1000, 1100, 1200. Okay, you get to see the different architecture. When you go to Osnabrück, most of the old town is gone. There's a few buildings from the 1500s left, but the cathedrals from the 1200s, 1300s, and 1400s, they're still standing. Some got destroyed in the wars, but they got rebuilt. So a lot of times you go to the churches, again, not for religion, but because of the artwork. You go to a cathedral, like, for example, you go to the Frauenkirche in Munich. You got this giant, one of the biggest Romanesque churches ever built, one of the biggest Romanesque churches ever built, the Frauenkirche. But then you go inside, and one of the world's greatest wood carvers, Matthias Grunewald, he carved a lot of the altar and everything in there. And here's the sad thing. Matthias Grunewald, 70% of his work was destroyed. This is one of the greatest artists in the world. But because he specialized in construction and wood carving and everything for the churches, during the 30 Years' War, when everybody was burning each other's churches down, this big Protestant Catholic war, 70% of his work was destroyed. Lucas Cranach, the great German painter, Hans Holbein the Elder and the Younger, they lost a lot of their artwork through the religious wars. But what survived in the nobility or in the churches. But in Matthias Grunewald's case, a lot of his wood carvings were destroyed because people burned the churches down. And since he was a wood carver, so that's the key, is these church buildings really maintain. And also because they took 100, 200 years, you get buildings like in Osnabrück, the cathedral started as Romanesque, but then Gothic came in and they become what we call transitional. And so you can see, okay, they started Gothic here, or they started Romanesque, and then you can see where they decided, oh, we want to make it Gothic now. And so you really get a great architectural history and architectural tour in the churches. So it doesn't. So yes, we do go to a lot of churches, and I tell that to my students. Because I get a couple of students that think I'm trying to convert them to religion. I was like, no, guys, look. I walk into a church expecting to hear a voice going, "Get out!" But architecturally, they're just beautiful. Yeah, and we're going to go see the York Minster is massive too. We're excited to see that one. So I just love the architecture. I love looking at things that were built 500, 600 years ago, especially stuff before the United States existed. And you know what I mean, before the country the United States existed, which officially came into existence 1787. That's why it's always a little funny that we celebrate our Independence Day on July 4th, and we celebrated our bicentennial on in 1976, because we declared our independence on July 4th, 1776, but we weren't independent. We didn't win our independence until the signing of the Treaty of Yorktown. And that was 1783. Well, and it wasn't even the Treaty of Yorktown, the Treaty of Paris. We won the Battle of Yorktown, which was the last official major engagement of the Revolutionary War. And then it took 2 years of negotiation, and then we had the Treaty of Paris. So really, the Treaty of Paris is when we should celebrate our Independence Day. But we celebrated when we said, we're free! I do. But as I was talking to Tim at Gloucester, there are some people that love the old world, and you'll meet people go, oh, I wish I lived in the old days. And I was like, no, I'll take modern toilets. I'll take modern transportation. I'll take the lack of diseases, even with the viruses we got going around the world today. I'll take the life expectancy of 83 instead of 43. But that just makes what they did in the old world much more impressive. I like history, Jean Ricard. I love history. I love the sense of walking into a building and thinking how many hundreds of people over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 centuries walked across this floor. I go to Berlin to the Pergamon Museum and I walk under the Ishtar Gate. And I know the stones are in Berlin, but I know under those stones, Alexander the Great, Darius the Great, Hammurabi, all of them marched under those stones. And they looked up and looked at the same stones I'm looking at. And I am blown away by that. It may not mean anything to anybody else, but that always blows me away. Even though I'm not walking in the same footpath they did at that time, I'm walking on the same stones. And that always says something to me. It's brilliant. Yeah, yeah, and I do. I love, okay, I'm of European descent and I love European history. I love my history, the German people, the Germanic people, the Anglo Saxons, English history. I do. I love that. I love that stuff. And and yeah, I'm less drawn to the Eastern world. Like people are like, oh, you've got to go to Japan. I've got friends that say, oh, you got to go to Japan. You got to go to Korea. They're not on my bucket list. If I want a trip, I might, and they say you're going to Japan, I would look to trade it in. I have no desire or need to go to Japan or to Korea or to China or Vietnam. I have no deep interest in Asia, even though I know the history. Whether it's the Mongolians or the various Chinese wars or the Shogun Wars of Japan. I know that history as well, but it doesn't have the draw to me, partly because it's not the historical connection. We're walking around in Wales here, and there are marks to um, Edward the First. When we were in Cardiff Castle, they had a bit about, it was here that Edward the Black Prince was declared Prince of Wales and blah, blah, blah. And, we're in Wales and we keep our head down because um, uh, my family, the Dodge family, my great, 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 23 generations back grandfather was knighted and made gentrified by Edward the First Longshanks for help in his wars against John Balliol in Scotland, or however you pronounce the last name, Balliol, in Scotland in the 1280s. And he was knighted and awarded his crest and everything else. He was even given titles. He was given land in Scotland, and I joke about going back and claiming those. Yeah, and I'm with you, Randall. I prefer modern luxuries. I like toilet paper and I like flushing toilets. I won't even go camping. I do not like roughing it. It doesn't mean that if World War III hit tomorrow and I survive, I know how to shoot a gun and I know how to hunt and I know how to skin an animal and what parts to eat and how to cut it and gut it. I know how to do that, but I don't need to do it. I know crazy Ted Nugent loves to talk about you got to kill it to eat it. Well, I can go to the meat market. Somebody else already killed it. Oh, but it tastes different when you kill it yourself. Well, maybe it does, but I'm happy to go to the grocery store. But if the time were to come where I'd have to survive, I can survive. I may have grown up in the city, but I've got family that knows how to survive, and I've learned how to survive. I know how to survive in the city. I know how to hotwire a car. I know how to break into cars. And I know how to hunt, and I know how to gut an animal and feed myself if I need to. Oh, I remember the Bay City Rollers. Oh, yeah, with Saturday, night. Saturday, night. Yep, I remember the Bay City Rollers. Oh, they were so over promoted in the US when they came over. Dick Clark. Ah, they're going to be bigger than the Beatles. They're going to be bigger than the Beatles. This is the greatest thing I've seen since the Beatles. Dick Clark was always trying to find a new Beatles because Dick Clark hated the Beatles. he was jealous of the Beatles because when the Beatles first came to America and went to the West Coast, Dick Clark had just moved to the West Coast with his American Bandstand, and Dick Clark was like, "I'm the face of pop music in America." And when he met with the Beatles didn't like his arrogance. He came in very much, "It's all about me. I'm Dick Clark. I know how to work this." And the Beatles like, dude, take it down a notch. And they picked a local radio DJ, Bob Eubanks, who was a rock and roll DJ out of LA, and they made him not their promoter, but to announce all their, be the announcer at all their Southern California concerts. And Dick Clark never forgave the Beatles for that. He was always downplaying the Beatles. He in the 66, 67, he loved to get people on his gun. So teenagers, what do you think of the Beatles? I think the Beatles are good. Shit. What do you think of the Beatles? I think they're going out. Yeah, talk to me. You think the Beatles are fading out, do you? You think the Beatles are washed up? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm into this now. Dick Clark hated the Beatles. He was so mad at the Beatles because his ego couldn't take the fact that the Beatles rejected him as their announcer for all their West Coast shows. They picked a local radio DJ named Bob Eubanks, who then rode that fame of the Beatles announcer, to introduce them at all these concerts, and then became a game show host. There's a lot of awesome history in Pennsylvania. There is a lot of history in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of history where I come from, Toledo, Ohio. But the thing is, I am blessed, and I don't like to use that word with me. I have been blessed that in my later years I've been able to travel, and I've been blessed that I am open-minded enough that as much as I'm proud to be an American, I'm not America first and screw everybody else. I am a globalist. That offends some Americans if I use that term. I'm a globalist. I'm an earthling first. I'm an earthling first. I love Earth. I'm an earthling first. I'm a human second, and then I'm an American. And I'm proud to be an American. And Joyce and I were in London, and I talked about this the other day. Somebody insulted, it was at the Tower of London, and these two people behind us were talking about education or something like that. And he mentioned something about some clever Americans or something like that. And the woman said, "I think you highly overestimate the American education system." And I was just, "Whoa, bitch, back off." We're both teachers. Don't be. Of course, first of all, there is no American education system. If you guys, you could go watch my other video. I won't rant on that. But I love visiting other cultures, listening to other people, learning about other people, what they've done, where they've gone. And I love the history, but I love full history. Okay? As an American, we did a lot of dirt in our history. And a lot of Americans want to gloss it over. What we did to the Indians, what we did to the slaves. That was the past. We don't want to. No, we need to, if all you want to look at the past is all the good stuff you've done, a German can't look at their history and go, "Look at all the great things we did." No, you need to look at Hitler, okay? Hitler is a part of your history too. And even stuff before that, some of the Prussian stuff. The French, okay? The UK. The UK did a lot of dirty things. I mean, even when the UK was helping save the world, even in the military, who was always in the vanguard of the UK Army? The British always made sure that the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Canadians died before the British did, or before the English did. I guess is how I should have said that. It's we've all got dirt in our past, okay, and you need to accept the ugly with the good. You have to accept we've all done ugly. But I don't hate people. I don't hate people for what something happened in their past unless they deny it. That's when I get upset with people, when they deny it and say, well, we didn't do anything. Our country's always been great. We've always been great. Oh, everybody's done something bad in their past. Hey, Paul. Well, again, I'm not talking politics. I won't, I have very strong views against Putin, but we'll leave it at that and not talk any more about that. Okay? This is me talking about our vacation in the UK and all the great things we're seeing, and just I wanted to talk to people because I haven't gotten to watch your videos. All of you posting videos, I haven't gotten a chance to watch your videos because Joyce and I are, I'm not sitting at home with free time. Joyce and I are on the go. This is the most free time, and instead of here talking to you, I probably should have been watching all your videos. And I really feel bad I haven't been commenting because I do love to watch your videos and comment, but. So this was my way of maybe hooking up with a lot of you. So if you've been posting videos, like Simon the Railway Enthusiast, he puts up a few videos a day. I haven't gotten a chance to watch them all. Everard Junction just posted a 50-minute video the other day. I haven't gotten to watch it. I watched Steve Childers' video this morning because it was like 9 minutes and I was able to watch that. And then I have another guilty pleasure. I have spent a couple of minutes while eating breakfast and going to bed right before I go to sleep. I'm watching these. Has anybody else seen these? They started in China and there's a UK one, the Hoof GP. I don't know why, but I've started watching these farriers. And if you don't know what a farrier is a horseshoe maker. But it's all these videos, mostly from China, about these guys that take these horses or mules, mostly mules actually, and then some cows as well, whose hooves are overgrown and need treatment. Oh my God, it's so freaky. It's like watching somebody popping pimples or something. You shot up on subs? Hey, Clive, nice to see you. Clive's another one who just posted a video. I did watch Clive's video and I got a chance to comment. But I don't know. It's just the personality I have. I apologize if you guys are posting videos and you haven't seen me comment because everybody I'm subscribed to, I watch every video you guys post and I try to comment on them. I will always comment. I will always give it a thumbs up and I will always comment. And I get tired of my praise, so to speak. Like, Anthony, you're always telling me great job. Well, it is a great job. The worst thing in the world, and Tim and I were talking about this, Tim Dowd and I were talking about this yesterday. The worst thing in the world is watching somebody on a video and they're working on their layout and you look and you go, that's beautiful. That's really cool. I love how you do that. And you go on there and you say, man, that's really beautiful. That is so cool. I love how you did that. That's gorgeous. And then 2 weeks later, they post a video where they ripped it out and said it was horrible, terrible job. And you're like, you feel like an idiot when you're saying how nice something looks. And they're like, nope, it's terrible. Oh, I hated it. Stuart's nice enough. Stuart doesn't do that from St. Mary's, but Stuart, everything he builds, I think is just awesome. Everything he does, I think is just awesome. But then 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, he's ripping out. Oh, I decided I wanted to make that better here, and I'm like, but I thought it looked good. It looked good as is. You don't have to tear that out. It's the trains were working. No, there was something wrong. But I guess I like to watch your videos and tell you what a great job you've done. Enjoy your nap. It's just been it's been amazingly weird to not be watching train videos because I watch a ton each day, and to not be seeing them. Leslie posted a video couple of days ago, Sunday, because he usually puts one up on the weekend. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, Leslie, and I'm sure it's awesome. But I do like to just give everybody I watch, I like to give a thumbs up and leave a comment. And I'm never going to leave a negative comment. There's no reason to leave a negative comment. Nice video, sometimes you just put that nice video. Cool, thanks for sharing. Because to me, there's no difference between the coolest guy out there. And it was funny, Tim and I apparently are brothers from different mothers because, and he's the older brother. Because we definitely had a lot of views in common we started talking about channels. We were gossiping about some channels. And, did we like the channel or not? What did we think of the person or not? And were they a little too high on themselves or not? And we shared some similar views on a couple of things, but and also the idea that, you're looking at something so beautiful, the person decides, oh, it's terrible, rip it out. But, everybody's out there putting their stuff out there, and it's what makes it a great hobby. And you got to support each other out there. We got Tim just mentioned he went up to 186. We need to get him up to 200. We need to get up to 500. No names. No, we won't mention names. We were mostly positive. There were just, I mentioned a couple of channels I'm negative on. I mentioned a couple of channels I'm personally negative on. One, because that channel was negative on me first. But I've never badmouthed that channel live. I just pointed out that they were rude to me. He just went on a live video one day, and I was subscribed to the channel at the time. And he's just like, yeah, I was watching this American bloke running German trains, and all he does is run his trains, and he's got like 4 cameras up, and he doesn't have anything on his channel. What's the point if you're not going to be building your layout? What's the point of putting a channel up if you're not building? And I was like, I think he's talking about me, and he's being negative about me. And so I was kind of taken aback by that, because there aren't too many American blokes who run German trains and have lots of cameras. And then like 2 months later, I hadn't unsubscribed yet, but 2 months, 3 months later, I had started the Matt Clark series, and he was on his channel. He's like, a few weeks ago, I mentioned this American channel. I said, well, now this guy's putting up these stupid cartoons, and there's nothing train related on there. He's got these songs, and now he's doing a cartoon. Why is this a train channel? And I said, okay, he's definitely talking about me, and I didn't appreciate that. And, my thing is, my channel is unique, and it's not to everybody's taste, but it's my channel, and it's me. Now, Genre Card, you can say that, but I do have 1,100 subscribers, and Joyce, I think, has been stuck on 50 for 5 months. You just keep kissing Joyce's butt, Genre Card. Even Joyce is starting to go, he needs to stop kissing my butt so much. Oh, you'll get the royal wave from Joyce. Hello, peasants. But yeah, we plan on waving. We just got to know which side you'll be on so we can stand. Also would love to put the windows down and hang out like on those heritage trains. Hey, everybody, it's us. But we were able to wave bye to Tim yesterday. But yeah, Joyce needs to put up some content, but she has trouble coming up with it. I've even given her suggestions, but I don't know. It was something to do at the time, and now she's moved on to other things again. But it's been, YouTube is just, yeah, some people don't have a sense of humor, and that's fine. But again, I'm talking about a channel that was negative on me, but you'll notice I wasn't negative on the channel. I didn't like what they were saying about me. I found it judgmental. I thought it was harsh. My attitude is, why do you feel the need to complain about what somebody else puts on their channel? If you don't like it, just ignore it. You don't have to subscribe to my channel. You don't have to subscribe to anybody's channel. You just don't have to be critical. So on my channel, I just wanted people to, I'm going to do my thing. I mean, my channel is now where I like it. I will get back to making more train related videos. I will have some new trains coming uh, when I get back in July. I'll have some new locomotives. There's a couple I'm going to buy. I was probably going to buy one today, but we bought a PlayStation instead. And Tim, you were very kind of saying what I mean, and that blows me away that I mean anything to anybody outside of my family and my friends. But yeah, if I make a person smile, if I make a person laugh, that I've made my day. The greatest compliment I ever got from anybody anywhere was, I told you, I even posted on Facebook a couple of months ago. One of my students walked into my room while I was out of it, and I know which student it was, and wrote on the board, "I was having a bad day and you made me smile." And so many of my students talk about that as, "Mr. Dodge, you always made me smile. Mr. Dodge, you know, and granted, I didn't always make all my students smile. Sometimes I made them groan, but if you can make somebody smile, and so my channel, if you can't have a little laugh, okay, move on. If you're looking at channels only to see people who weather their trains and do that, okay, go find them. I did not throw my channel in your face and make you come to it. And I'm not going to defend my channel. I'm just amazed that anybody watches it. I have a laugh doing it, and that's what I do. The birds. Yeah, we had the birds getting really noisy here today for a bit. Oh, Jean Ricard, you are such a subversive individual. Hey, Philip Page, nice to have you. And yes, we are still planning on Wigan. We've got 7 minutes in Wigan, so we are still planning to extend a handshake. Hey, there's Mark from Donegal Dad. See, here's another guy I would have loved to meet. And, when we first tried to book this trip, we really wanted to get up to Donegal. I really was hoping we could get over somewhere and get up there, and it just did not work with trains and fees and cost at the time. And we had to cut that out because we were really hoping to get up into Ireland, and it just didn't fit with time and other things we wanted to do. But yeah, it's just been it's great. I mean, so when I meet somebody like Tim that loves my channel, and it was funny because I started, was doing some of the voices for Matt Clark for Tim just as a lark and just to see him laugh, because that's what you don't see when I do my episodes. When I do my episodes online, unless somebody types LOL or puts a smiley face up, I have no idea how you're reacting. So if I do a smoky voice or something like that, and was talking a little bit to Tim about how I create the voices, and just to see him laughing as I do it. And we started talking about certain scenes that he liked, and that, because I do like, I have, my favorite scene of all, my favorite line, my favorite scene of all the Matt Clark bits, and I have a lot of very favorite scenes, but one of my ultimate favorites is in series 1 towards the end, when it's revealed that Smokey's been in hiding on the truck where they're all tied up. And they're all like, "Smokey, hurry, free us. Smokey, you got to untie us. Come on, Smokey, free." And Smokey's like, "Hold on a minute. I've been watching all you do and all this good." "Smokey, we don't have time for that. No, you got to untie us." "No, I've been listening to all your crap and you all have to do this." And, somebody says, like, Smokey, if you say we need to have a talk one more time, I'm going to let this train blow up with you on it. That's one of my favorite bits where Smokey's just like, if you say we need to have a talk one more, because that was a running gag. Everybody's always like, Smokey, we need to have a talk. And then he got his talk, which is what happened and why he was so different in Series 2 is because he had the talk he always wanted, but didn't really want. But that's still one of my favorites. And just going through the voices and watching Tim laugh and shake his head at that and then pull back some of his stuff, that was just brilliant. Yeah, because as much as Dan D. did a lot of Adam Ant jokes, a lot of his lines were Adam Ant songs, which they should have been. The Kahat has probably about 30 different lines from Cat Stevens songs. He has at least, and then there's Donovan, who has at least 4 Donovan songs referenced in some of his speeches, and also the Kahat saying, "Ah, you are my sunshine, Superman Donovan." And it's just fun. The funniest thing is, as I was telling Tim, is so much of it, like the freebiest stuff in Series 2, all that religious stuff I was doing, that is some of the oldest comedy that's still around. I wrote that stuff when I was 16. The whole, Reverend Saltine and the Prophet Freebius. And the Lord said unto Freebius, you beginneth to pisseth me off. And stuff like that. That goes back to Joyce has seen it. It's this little 3-page thing I've got from when we were, when I was 16 that I typed up. It was hysterical. And it's funny, and hopefully people find it funny. And if not, okay, there are other comedy channels, there's other train channels. It's just my silly bit. We got to pack tonight. Yeah, we got to pack tonight. We got to go out to dinner and then pack. But we had a bit of a late lunch here and a snack, but we're gonna get ready to go to dinner here, and then we gotta pack. I hate packing. That's the worst thing. Hey, Tony Northeastern, thanks for coming in. Hello from Cardiff in Wales. I said, yeah, and somebody mentioned Matt Slade lives in Cardiff, and I know, but I don't know Matt Slade. I know his channel. I'm subscribed. I love his videos. I think he's awesome, and I know he's in this region, but I don't talk to him on Facebook. I'm not friends with him on Facebook. He doesn't come to my channel, so it was better meeting Tim. Life in England is wonderful. We are having a great time in England. We are just, we've had a blast. Would you agree, dear? Yeah. Yeah. Just come and say hello before we all get off the air. But it's... Oh, I thought everybody figured Four Finger Bill would be back. But again, that was something Tim and I were laughing at because Tim reads my mind too well. He was predicting some of the stuff from the end of Series 1, and then again, Tim already knows this. I was talking about it earlier, I think, as Tim came in. If you didn't watch the end of Series 2, spoiler alert, I brought Four Finger Bill back. And Four Finger Bill is going to be the primary villain, although he's not the master villain, but he's going to be the primary villain in Series 3. But we have plans, and I've already been outlining and detailing some stuff for him. And so Tim and I are talking on the train about Series 3, and I was telling him, I've already got some things planned. And Tim asked, so is Four Finger Bill going to be the main guy? And I said, yeah, that I was trying to make sure that was pretty obvious. And he says, so Tim says, is he going to be working alone or is he going to be working in a gang? And I said, we're planning on a gang because I already have a gang and I have the gang's name. I already know the name of the gang. And Tim immediately goes, "Oh, because I think," and I'm not going to say the name of the gang, and don't you either, Tim. I think this would be awesome. And Joyce just knows how I already feel about Tim predicting. I was like, "Oh my God, that is exactly the name of the game we had, Tim. Really? Did you have to know it already?" Tim's inside my head somehow. He reads my mind with this stuff. I do like the way I brought him back. I thought it was pretty cool. And I love the enthusiasm because Tim, Randall, and Roy Eltham all typed in, "It's Four Finger Bill, he's back, yay!" Yeah, yeah, I can kill him. Did I see Dave Williams is here? Dave, you're not far away. I'm here in Cardiff, Dave. You're just up in Merthyr, however you pronounce it up there. We're down here in Cardiff, but it's our last day. So, but we're just, but it's great. But yeah, it's frustrating because I do like to be sneaky. So I already gave Tim the name of a couple of the villains that are coming up in Series 3 that are going to be associated with Four Finger Bill. And, but yeah, it was ridiculously. It's like he predicted the name right to the period. It was so funny because I've already written it, not the whole series, but the members of the group and everything else, and Tim just immediately knew the exact name that it was going to be. And yeah, it was silly. Joyce and I just were blown away. That's all right, Dave. We're traveling, we're in and out. It's hard to meet up. That's why it was such a blessing we got to meet Tim. And I know you've had other things going on in life, and I hope things get back on a happier track for you. Um, well, I don't know. I mean, going to the track is about predicting the right horse. Um, the only horse I could bet on. Now, if I went to the track and one of the horses was named Goliath, I would be betting on the money. In race 5 is the horse Goliath. He's a 100 to 1 shot. I'm like, Joyce, we're putting 100 pounds on Goliath. That would be kismet. If I went to the racetrack to bet on horses and one of the horses in the race was named Goliath, you're understanding that, right?
I am. Yeah.
The problem is if we would bet on Goliath, the race would start, and halfway through Goliath would just stand up while the guys went, "Come on, Goliath, go!" Oh, oh yes, oh yes, that's it, Smokey. Oh yes, harder, Smokey, harder. Gee, Smokey, maybe you're just. That's it, harder, Smokey, harder. Oh yes, Smokey, yes. All right, Leslie, take care. Yeah, I'm gonna log off here in a couple of minutes. We're gonna go eat. It is. It's easy. We would love to meet anybody we can meet. That's why we actually put our schedule up on a previous video itinerary. And if there's a chance where you can come by and say hello, Philip Page is going to go out of his way and pop on as long as the strikes don't ruin it. Philip Page is going to pop on a platform at Wigan just so we can pop off the train real fast and shake hands. And that anybody would want to do that for us. That's blown away that somebody would want to go that far out of their way. Even Tim Dowd. Now, yes, he's only he's 10 minutes away by train in Newport from here. The fact that he was willing to wait at Newport Station and hop on the train just to talk to us for 10 minutes, and then, hey, I'll go with you to Gloucester if you want. I'm like, hell yeah. And to be able to spend that time, that anybody wants to take that Alan is willing to drive an hour and 10 minutes, whatever it is, from his house on Saturday. He's going to pick us up in Gwynedd in near Bangor and drive us around North Wales all on his own. You know, we didn't ask him to do this. We said, just tell us where you're at. We'll catch the train and get to your house. No, I'll drive and pick you up. Okay. The fact that people are like that for us, that they, I mean, it blows Joyce and me away. We are just absolutely gobsmacked at that people actually would go out of their way to meet us. I mean, it's one thing that if it works in, like, yeah, I live there, I'll come down and say hi. But that people would be willing to go over here and say, hey, we're going to come and see you. Joyce and I are just blown away. You know, what Tim call us yesterday, Joyce? He was joking, but what did he call us?
American celebrities.
His American celebrities. I certainly don't feel like a celebrity. I'm just blown away that there's people that just because of YouTube. And again, I would feel the same way about you. If I had a chance, I would come to meet you people. Like if I knew you were coming through Toledo or going to be in 20 miles south of Toledo, and if I had the opportunity, yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'll be there. I'll come and say hello. All right, take care, Tony Northeastern. Like I said, Joyce and I have got to. I'm trying to wind down here because I've been on for 2.5 hours. So I think I'll wind it up here. We had an afternoon here to kill, and we got to go out to eat, and then we got to pack because we're off to Bangor tomorrow. Although we're not staying in Bangor, but we're going to Bangor train station. 4 hour and 18-minute ride according to the train schedule. We'll see if it lives up to that, but it's going to be a long ride. And then we got things we're going to go do while we're up there. And like I said, Alan is going to come meet us. When we go to Liverpool, Jim at Hover Motion wants to meet us, and Lee and Jackie want to hook up with us, and we're going to hook up with them. We've got those scheduled in. And then when we go to Edinburgh, Chris to meet, and that's going to be something special. To meet anybody is special. But I've been talking to Chris for a long time on the internet, and if we can keep him awake long enough, yeah, that's going to be cool. And then the fact that there's at least 4 or 5 people that are scheduled to come down to York and meet us, that just blows my mind. That a couple of people have actually booked potentially expensive train tickets to come to York and meet us in York. That just blows my mind. I can't believe. No, we're not in Swansea tomorrow. We are going from Cardiff here up to Bangor. We were supposed to go to Swansea this morning, and we weren't feeling it. Just the original forecast when we went to sleep last night was not very good, and it was going to be a bit of a hassle to get over to the beaches that we wanted. We wound up deciding not to go to Swansea, and we went shopping instead. We stayed in Cardiff and walked around uptown and went back to the castle and everything again, just to kind of say goodbye to Cardiff. So we were supposed to go to Swansea today, and we just decided not to. I'm sorry about that. If anybody was looking for us. Yeah, we're just gobsmacked anybody wants to meet us, and those that can and are putting in the effort. So hopefully I'll see a few of you at York, but otherwise, June 22nd. June 22nd. We are going to be we're in York June 21st through June 24th. Most of the day, June 21st, all day the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and then we leave York for London on the 25th. And again, our entire itinerary is on our UK trip video that we posted before we left. And you don't have to watch the video. It's posted in that. And so anybody can email me from my channel. You can email me and Facebook me and send me a message like, hey, by any chance, could you meet us here, or we can come into this town when you're here and hang out with us. Yeah. So, to an Airbnb. Yes, Philip Page. I answered your post wherever it was. We are, yeah. Now again, strike is an issue, but I have it right here. Yeah, when we're on the way to Edinburgh from Liverpool, we stop off at Wigan at 11:31. We are at Wigan at 11:31. I don't know the platform yet, but we are Wigan at 11:31, and it leaves Wigan at 11:38 on the 17th. It is confirmed. That is a already purchased. Whoops, I lowered the wrong one. That is etched in stone, confirmed from our side of it. The strike may affect it, but Edinburgh, that trip, we are going through Wigan. That is already etched. We are confirmed for that train at that time. Tickets are bought. And so, yes, it stops at Wigan at 11:31. What I will try to do, as I did with Tim, is we will let you know what coaches and seats we have, if that will make it easier to find us. You've already looked it up. Platform 6 at Wigan. There it is. So we are, so platform 6, and we will try to let you know, but keep nagging me what our seats are. I don't have it. I mean, I don't know if I can. It's not on here, but maybe I can pull it up real quick. Where is it? Come on, come on, come on, picks. Let's go back to Cardiff Banger tickets, new bookings, London Tube tickets. Okay, so I'd have to do it this way. Is that, who's the line we're doing that through? Hang on, just give me a second. So that is the northern trip. So let me look that up real quick. And I will confirm something more for you, Philip. Let me pull this back up as well so I can see the chat. There we go. So let me give you a bit more information with that. Abracadabra. We have Northern. Where are you? There you are. Northern Railway. My tickets. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's why. Doof. Okay, Philip, are you listening? We are Coach F, and then seats 37, 38. We're Coach F. I don't know if that will help you find us. So we will be Coach F, F as in failure. And we're changing trains there. So we're crossing over to platform 5 and getting on the Avanti. That's the coach we'll be heading for. Coach F is the coach we're heading for. This does not tell us what coach we are from Liverpool. It just says leg 2 is Coach F. So that's the coach we have to go for. So if you stand in front of the Avanti West Coast, Joyce and I will be running off the train, and you'll recognize me and Joyce, and we will do that. But we're going to Coach F, so our train will be that. So from Liverpool to Edinburgh, yeah, from Liverpool to Wigan, it doesn't tell us what our coaches are. But at Wigan, we change trains. We get off the train it's a transport for rail trains. We get off that, or whatever it is. Maybe it's not transport for. But we get off at Wigan on platform 6, and then we have to go to platform 5, and then we're getting on coach F on that Avanti West Coast. But it doesn't tell us what we're riding to Wigan. So I don't have that information. So if you stand in front of, because I'm sure the train will be waiting there. But you'll definitely see us there. But because it is straight across, platform 6, platform 5. Okay, I probably need to end this because Joyce and I need to eat, and then we need to come back. Yeah, that's right. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of where to find us. If you stand in the middle of, if you find the Avanti West Coast on platform 5, coach F, because that's the one we have to get on. So we'll be walking up and down the platform looking for coach F. But we will have all our bags too. And by that stage, it could be too much because we got a lot of stuff already. But yeah, I need to wrap this up. It has been awesome, and I actually hate to turn off, but it is dinner time here, and we do need to pack, and we need to pack. We've got a lot of crap to organize. Plus, we probably want to, knowing us, we'll want to clean, and we have to get up early tomorrow. We have to get up early to catch our morning train. It's about a 20-minute walk to the train station from here with the luggage. Without the luggage, it's about 12 minutes, but with the luggage, it'll probably be 20. And we like to get to this train station. We gotta pack lunches tonight to eat on the train. I know you can buy stuff on the train, but Joyce and I just we travel cheap. We just buy bread, cheap bread and meat and cheeses. And that's what we do. So anyhow, I'm going to say thanks for all of you who came in and chatted with us. It's nice to be here. We really are having a good time. We have not had anything personally negative here. And again, I'll say it anytime I come online. Meeting Tim was just it's awesome. And now he's talking about seeing us at Newport again on our way up to Bangor. So that's going to just be cool. So I want to thanks for everybody who just tuned in to hang and listen to me ramble for a bit, but I had some time to kill, and so I've killed it. Now that it's dead, I need to go eat. So everybody out there, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being friends of this channel. Thanks for being friends. And if everybody is like Tim, this is a beautiful world. Take care. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.